Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with Yanzi Lin, and we are going to talk about the big game on the street a month out, or a month in, I guess. Marvel Rivals is all the talk. A lot of characters are getting revamps, new costumes. But here's the thing, for the most part, a lot of these characters still have some sort of a attractive value to them. Like when I first heard about this game, aside from the Wolverine costume, which I didn't like, I mean, I kind of liked what I was seeing. I wasn't seeing these characters get woke or diversified or any of that jazz. And I was like, not the worst thing that I've been given over the last 10 or 15 years from the American comic book industry. Except, guess what, guys? This is not comics. And probably we'll talk a little bit about that, what Marvel needs to do to capitalize off of this and help the American comic book industry. But before you guys, let's get into what we need to do. And that's for you to look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Also consider checking out our crowdfunder campaign for our own comic book, Inglorious Rex. Over $250,000 on 9 Lives Comics, and in the shop, you are able to buy Inglorious Rex that ships out the next day. If you like giant kaiju monsters, if you love boxing or MMA, you'll absolutely adore Inglorious Rex. This is our 3rd chapter. You get 1 and 2, and it ships out next day. All right, so this is big doom and big gloom for the American comic book industry. I'm going to talk about it in this video, why I feel like this is like maybe the thing that's really going to hit and pummel Marvel the most. Marvel Rivals, been out 1 month, is still going strong, keeps 90% of its player base since launch. Now, we've had some devastating game launches lately, right, Yanzi?
Oh boy, what do we even want to say about it? Ever heard of this game, Concord? It's so bad. I don't think they even cracked 4-figure players at any point since the game launched. And Sony basically had to wipe the game off the face of the earth in less than 2 weeks. You can't even buy the physical disc anymore. It's not available on any of those online shops. So that's how bad it was. And they were like, there wasn't even an Amazon TV show planned for an episode planned for Concord. They're like, it's going to be so successful, we plan all that stuff ahead of time. Well, guess what? Marvel has this hit that nobody anticipated. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, look at it. The women are sexy and the men are hot. Is this a Western studio? Seriously? Is it? And it's like, yes, guys, it really is real. You can have Susan Storm with curls and white and blue eyes and blonde. Like, yeah. Wow.
And that's the thing, that it what used to be like a given for any type of superhero character for the most part is outside of Ben Grimm, the thing is they're mostly attractive. So the fact that that's kind of hitting people too, obviously these are fully clothed characters for the most part. Some get a little scandalous, but the trick with these type of games is they're going to sell you tons of skins for these characters eventually anyways, different probably mods and character costumes and all of that stuff. Now, for people that don't know much about the game, and again, this is mainly a comic book channel, this is a 6v6 type shooter, and kind of in the sense that some of these characters are support characters, tank characters, things like that. Maybe you have Doctor Strange making infinite portals and stuff like that to move your team around the map. So it's kind of more of a support strategist type game, but also just a shooter. This is arguably a perfect thing for the Marvel characters, though, because some of the characters that they're getting in and out of this game, like Squirrel Girl, that one chick with the antennas from Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't even know her name, they become very useful in this game depending on their power base. And actually, they could probably just move the scale around on the character to make people want to play the character. And this is where I'm going to get into the doom and gloom for Marvel Comics and basically in any comic book company. A lot of these companies, whether it's be Marvel or whether it be DC Comics, they're owned by a movie studio. Now, the studio, do they love comics? No, they want the characters. And comics, for like probably the last 15 years, have been, even when I was still working at DC, the word research and development, R&D, get thrown around a lot. I have equity in certain characters. I get paid quite a bit of money whenever they make it into a video game. The video game money is very substantial, a lot of money in video games. So the idea that comics are still kicked around for these big mega studios just so these characters stay relevant, I don't know. This is getting really weird when you see a video game come out here like this. So what we're looking at here is the ICV2 charts for December. And if you'll look at like, what is that, like the top six, or top all new Venom, I'm going to roll that in there too. All of these, if you even look past top the number six, a lot of these characters are kind of like a jumping on fresh revamped version of the character because people are tired of the character. They're tired of the book that they're getting. With the absolute and ultimate universe books, they're a clean slate. The continuity can be wiped clean and it's a complete different origin story in the case of absolute Batman or absolute Superman. They're not even the characters that you recognize as Bruce Wayne or Clark Kent. And sometimes their origins are completely different. Their powers are different. Like it has almost nothing to do with the IP you recognize. This is crazy because this is proof that the American comic book industry are, I believe, are not keeping fans invested in the intellectual properties. What do you think?
Well, at this point, isn't that the old saying that Batman is the barometer to measure all other comic book sales against? Like they're supposedly always the number one top selling book of every single month. Well, this month, Batman isn't even in the top 10, it's placed at position 12. And ahead
Right.
of it, look at it. Half the books here in the top 10 are actually reboots. Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Ultimate, Ultimate, Absolute, Absolute. It's like, okay, well, Ultimate 7. Look at that. More than half the books here are the reboot versions of the characters. Now, I've been hearing people say, yeah, it's just because there's too much baggage when you have to read, like, 80 years of Batman history or something like that. But at the same time, it proves that people are still interested in this character called Batman, because otherwise, why would it be a top selling book? So, what that means is that, yes, there's a market for these characters, but by God, people are tired of all the baggage. Maybe sometimes they just want a nice, hot character that they can identify with and say, yeah, that's hot. I like that character. I like the design. I like the backstory. Let me get more of them.
But unlike a lot of the absolute and ultimate things, you take a game like Marvel Rivals, this month they're introducing the Fantastic Four. Like they're able to speed up and introduce these characters, and they seem to be all in continuity and already exist. So again, I'm going to go back to the studio's perspective on this. You could have a comic company that probably loses money every month on the book. And on top of that, your comic people are like, well, we got to pump money back into this market because it's dying. We're getting our asses kicked by manga, Dogman, all over. We're getting the shit kicked out of us. Well, give us money so we can make a new version of Batman. And the studio's like, I guess, I mean, why? I guess we'll take a new version of Batman. Sure, they're coming up on public domain and stuff. I guess we'll keep losing money in comics because of advertising, because we're keeping them out there every month because of this. You go out here and you throw out a game like Marvel Rivals, and people are getting engaged in it, and more people are playing, say, or know about Squirrel Girl because of that game than they do than any American comic book. That means a lot to the studio. That means a lot more. This game, even if they're losing some money, this character, they're going to make money. And trust me, they're probably not losing money, but they're going to be selling Squirrel Girl merch that they never could sell before. And this means something to them. If Squirrel Girl gets into a new Warriors TV show, which they had canceled before, this game makes it more possible that people would watch a TV show about her with some other characters than before because more hands are playing it. Plus, the game maybe makes some of these characters more playable and dynamic and alluring. And the American comic book industry can't do that. They're not doing that right now. Nobody's really going to care about these characters, some that are in this game. And see, the weird thing about the studios owning the comics is, yeah, they like Spider-Man. They like that people buy Spider-Man comics. But to them, they can only do so many Spider-Man movies. They're really interested in some of these other characters becoming the next Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. And this game can actually engineer character popularity just by making them super playable, or people want to use them in an advantage depending on the perks that the character's power abilities have or something like that. They can actually manufacture the character being desirable or useful in this case. And with the comics, it's like the distribution is hindered. Comic shops are dwindling. And even if comic shops are still around today, a lot of times they're becoming hobby shops. They're actually becoming retro game shops in some cases. Retro comics, they're not even ordering new comics, they're selling old comics. So the real fear for the American comic book industry is if a game like this was to ever take hold and become the next World of Warcraft or become the next Fortnite or something like that with their characters, how relevant will Marvel Comics be? How needed is Marvel Comics even to keep the intellectual property alive? They can just do a new DLC, add the characters. Now, people are going to say, but you always need the source material. I don't know how long the American comic industry can lean on being the source material. It's becoming a wobbly stool of an excuse. I do not think the owners of the American, of these companies care anymore. I think they're getting past that. We're seeing Falcon, the new Captain America, New World Order movie. Nobody wants to see that. Doesn't matter how many years Marvel Comics has had Sam Wilson as Captain America. People aren't interested in it. So what if the American comic book industry is actually producing bad research and development, which they have been with woke agendas and stuff. And then here comes a game that just ignores all that and then all of a sudden is selling out the wazoo. What does that mean for big companies like Marvel and DC that need that blank check just to survive?
I'll tell you what that means. It would just be much easier to make a brand new skin and say, oh, we don't need to make a new Guardians of the Galaxy movie anymore. Let's just put a tree skin on this character. And look, there's our Groot IP. It's been renewed. So it's going to be a very easy, almost practically cheap, no-cost endeavor for them to renew IPs this way. And when you have accountants keeping track of the kind of money that goes in and out, I think, wasn't that Marvel that said recently they're going to not approve vanity projects anymore? So trust me, there's going to be a lot of penny pinching and they will say, ooh, I can just go and skin this character to be this character that I need the IP renewed and voila.
And again, a lot of people are going to be like, Shane, I don't like what you're saying here. Look, I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big comic book fan. I am a gamer, but not that much. I'm a comic fan, a comic artist first. And I have seen and created characters at DC Comics that have made multiple video game appearances, like in Lego games, like with the Red Lanterns and even Injustice and stuff like that. I understand the corporate side of things. And then the bottom line with these characters is on a corporate level, even to the highest people at DC Comics, they only really care about these characters making it into people's hands, whether it be a comic, whether it be a video game. If they have to pick, they're going to pick the video game. Just between the distribution issues of the American comic book industry, and we're seeing that with Diamond and people leaving Diamond and Diamond shutting down warehouses and stuff like that. I'm not going to say this one game is going to destroy comics, but the idea of this could destroy comics. What I mean is maybe this game doesn't last forever. But what if the studio eventually says, you know what, we're just going to start investing in more and more video games with this library of characters, and the way they play off of one another, it's just a perfect foundation for infinite games. And eventually this is going to hit the desk of the right bean counter at the right time, and they're going to say, I need a promotion. How about we get rid of the comic industry and we don't need it, and I'm going to gamble a little bit and I'm going to get a raise, and the bottom line in next quarter is going to look a lot better because we got rid of that. There's eventually going to be that person that has to make that decision, and I don't think it's going to come at Marvel, at DC Comics. I think it's going to be somebody above them. And look, we've said this for years. People have said like they're going to outsource or license comics. I don't think so. I think they would just go into straight video games before licensing out the characters for comics. That's just my opinion. You guys let me know down below. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, and please consider backing Inglorious Rex. Complete crowdfunded IP here. Lots of great stuff. And if you go to ingloriousrex.com, you are able to read 10 free pages of Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Inglorious Rex. And we also have Starlight Cats, an all-ages book that's on our shop that you can buy and ships out next day. I'll hit you guys up with this awesome trailer for Inglorious Rex, and we'll catch you guys again with another video.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first reverse, now you last. Blast of the past. It's cool though. Last card playing right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride, we ready to slide. Hard-headed, I will not listen. If you do not get it, that's your bad. Keep up in the sky like we see you feet up. Metal meets metal, it's no keeping up. Sniper the vision, it's no seeing us. This here